Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Fighting's Final. I'm your host, Mike Lauro, and started out a little tight there, but the Phillies bats come alive late in this game. They put up 6 runs in the bottom of the 7th. Castellanos would put 2 more up in the 8th. Phillies go on in a laugher. Ends up being a laugher down there at Citizens Bank Park as the Phillies beat the Mets 10-2. They send the Mets to their 7th straight loss of the 7th straight loss. The Mets are reeling right now. Their pitching is so banged up. I will say this. The kid Tidwell tonight, for the short period of time he was in there, he pitched pretty well. He did for the Mets. Lights out for Zach Wheeler. Although the first 3 innings threw a lot of pitches, umpire was kind of all over the place, which balls and strikes. I know Matty B will probably bitch and moan about that, sometime probably on Sunday or whatever. Again, I am your host, Mike Lauro. Al, unfortunately, could not do the show tonight due to the storms we had in the area yesterday, so I am filling in for Al tonight. So, with that being said, before we get busy, I'm going to run you through our lineup real quick. And starting Sunday night, that's right, 10 p.m., Matty B, the final word. Make sure you guys tune into him, okay? And also, that's from Sunday through Thursday. Thursday nights, 9 o'clock, Pat Bernard and Steve Fuentes. They have you covered for the attacking third. Make sure you guys check them out for everything Union and MLS action. Pat, that's right. Pat is the Bugs Bunny of It's a Wrap Sports Network. He is everywhere. He will be following me roughly in about 20 minutes. He will be right here on the air doing the wraparound. I'm pretty sure Pat's going to get into this game tonight. From what he had saw, it was a very, very good game. The Phil's bats came alive. So make sure you tune in for Pat right after me. And, of course, me and Pat will be right back here Sunday morning along with Al, providing he can still get on. If not, we understand. But, it'll be me and Pat. Your Sunday mornings will never be the same. So, guys, make sure you guys check us out. And we have more great content coming to It's a Wrap Sports Network. So make sure you stay tuned for that. All right, guys, I'm going to dive into this game as quickly as possible. Let's get it out the way, and then I will take your comments. The quicker I can get through this, the quicker I can be there to listen to your comments and respond as well. So, guys, here we go. Bottom of the 4th, Otto Kemp would drive in a run on a fielder's choice, putting the Phillies up 1-0. Brandon Marsh had the game tonight. He had such a game. I think he was 3 for 4 tonight, or 3 for 5. But Brandon Marsh, RBI single, JT Realmuto would score. The Phillies would go up 2-0. And again, Zach Wheeler would go 5 innings, give up 4 runs, or give up 4 hits, no runs, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. In 5 innings, he had 97 pitches. After 5, it was time for him to they had pulled him. So they go to Taijuan Walker in the top of the 6th, and it does not bode well for Taijuan. As he starts this, as he comes in, he pitches to 4 batters, gets 1 batter out. Pete Alonso would lead off the inning with a home run to dead center field, and then followed by Jeff McNeil, who was the next batter. They go back-to-back, tying the game at 2, and they would stay that way till the bottom of the 7th, and then the Phillies would explode. Trey Turner would hit an RBI double, scoring Brandon Marsh, putting the Phillies up 3-2. Alec Bohm would hit an RBI single, scoring Turner, putting the Phillies up 4-2. And then Nick Castellanos with an RBI single. Schwarber would score, giving them a 5-2 lead. And then Bryson Stott with a bases clearing double. He ended up going to third on the throw, which was something JT Realmuto almost caught Nick Castellanos. To me, it kind of reminded me of the play from the movie Major League, where one went one way, one with the other. But I haven't seen nothing like that probably in a long time, probably since that movie. So they would score on the RBI double, and that would lead the Phillies at an 8-2 advantage. Bottom of the 8th, Nick Castellanos goes yard, hits a 2-run home run, puts the Phillies up 10-2, and that would be it, man. That would be it for the Mets. The Mets gave no fight in this game. If you're a Mets fan right now, I would be really worried because it's not just, Alonso hit a home run and McNeil hit a home run, but your offense right now is just not clicking. I can definitely see that the injuries are taking their toll on this team. So we're going to get down to that. Right now, I'm going to do the Broad Street bottom line. My Broad Street bottom line was this. Midway through the third, top of the third, uh, you know, Zach Wheeler was just dominant tonight. He had a little trouble locating early on, but really from the start of the third inning on, he was dominant. He was laying down the Mets like left and right, and I'm talking strikeout wise. So, Broad Street bottom line, he was definitely it. Another thing, guys, we are going to go to right now. We are going to round the bases. Alrighty, guys, it was the Phillies 10, the Mets 2 right here in South Philadelphia today. It is the Cardinals beating the Cincinnati Reds 6-1. It is the Brewers 8, the Twins 2. In that game, the Brewers pitcher, they said it on the telecast, was basically had a no-no going through 6. So it looks like there that Twins got a couple runs on the board. It is 8-2 Brewers in the bottom of the 7th. Top of the 6th in Denver, it is 9-7 Rockies. So, yeah, that's a wild one going there. The over and under in this game, believe it or not, was 11.5 runs. They are definitely proving that to be true. Astros with a 2-0 lead in the middle of the third over the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. The Royals right now with a 1-0 lead over the Padres. It is the Athletics 2, the Guardians 0. And it is the Nationals with a 1-0 lead over those LA Dodgers. And the Giants and Red Sox also, bottom of the second in that Oakland game. It is the top of the second in the Dodgers Nationals game. And right now, no score in the first over there in it's no score in San Francisco. Earlier games today, it was the Mariners taking a trip to Wrigley and beating the Cubs 9-4. It was the Rangers 6-2 over the Pirates in Pittsburgh. It was the the Rays 11-5 over the Detroit Tigers. And boy, have the Tigers come back to earth a little bit, right? They were kind of smoking everybody kind of early on, but they kind of came back to earth a little bit. It was the Orioles beating the Yankees 5-3. The White Sox hammer, and I mean hammer, the Toronto Blue Jays 7-1 up in Toronto. And the Braves, after sweeping the Mets out, go down to South Florida and lose to the Marlins. So there is your scoreboard, guys, for tonight. And as I promised, now I'm going to get to you guys. I got some. Woo! Alrighty. Star Wars checking in. He says, take the Mets. I don't know where we're taking them. Walker sold Wheeler. Yeah, Walker wasn't his best tonight. There, Star Wars. Ryan Swope, Mr. Negativity. I love Ryan to death, but what are you going to say now? We scored too many runs. Next 2 games, we won't see any runs or offense. It's what always happens with the Phils. God, Ryan, can you enjoy it? Can we get to tomorrow? I mean, really, look, who are the Mets throwing out there tomorrow that you're scared of? That's what I want to know. You're going to see nothing but well-traveled guys and probably some minor leaguers that are going to be playing for the Mets. Their starting pitching staff is brutally beat up. Mike Peppernick, me and you were talking during the game there, Mikey. Yeah, good win. It is a good win. It kind of gets the Phillies off that schneid, too. Now they know they can beat this team, and I don't care what people say as far as I know their pitching is banged up, but if you're looking at this Mets lineup, their top half of the lineup's not hitting. Okay, Lindor's not hitting. Soto's not hitting. You know, you can just go down the list of that lineup tonight. They just were not hitting the ball at all. Star Wars seventh inning, best inning. Yeah, I would say so, buddy. I would definitely say so on that one. Phillies played a little bit of old time baseball tonight too. Only one home run with 10 runs scored. They did a lot of small ball, a lot of singles, a lot of bloops, a lot of dinks and dunks. Good thing. My broadcast bottom line, Pete Alonso showcasing for the Phillies tonight when he gets signed here after the season. Oh man, that's great. That's great. It says small ball wins the game. Oh, I don't want to hear it's baseball. This team's lineup is frustrating. It's either all or nothing. I'm going by what they've done in 4 years. Hot and cold streaks, bipolar lineup. I mean, hey, Ryan, listen. This team was built on really the long ball. And you got to tip your cap because the Phillies are actually trying to change that. Like, there's been so many games this year that they've won on small ball. They really have. Now, would you like to see this offense be a little more, what's the word I'm looking for here? You want to see them, kind of spread it out over a 4-game series and be a little more consistent. I can agree with you there. I really can. But to get on your point here that, this lineup is so frustrating, it's all or nothing. Like, stop and think about something here. Like, if you're looking at what they're doing, they don't have one of their best pitchers in their lineup. They don't have their best hitter in the lineup or the guy that's their best power guy in the lineup. And they're still fighting for first place. Look at the Mets. All you got to do is look right across the dugout at a team with no pitching. The Mets sold their soul on hopes and dreams and signed Soto to a $700 million contract. How's that working out for them? They just they got swept by the Rays at home and then went to Atlanta and got swept again, and they just lost the first game here. At least this team is somewhat consistent. Yes, they may win a bunch of games, they may lose a bunch of games. But they're right around the top of the National League. And it's not me wearing Homer glasses. Open up a damn paper and look at the standings. That's all you got to do. Open up a paper, look at the standings. They're right there. With all their deficiencies that people want to point out, they're still right there. They're still right there. And I think they're either 1 or 2 games off of the lead of being back on top as the number 1 team in the National League. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, with all their deficiencies and all that's going on, a bullpen that goes crazy every now and then. You got a guy who's a long reliever who doesn't know, he's good 1 minute, bad the next minute. So much of that back end of that bullpen is so Jekyll and Hyde. With their inconsistency in hitting, they're still one of the best teams in baseball. Can you imagine what's going to happen if this team ever decides to put it all together? They're going to be a dangerous team. Think about this for a second. The Phillies have not played their best baseball yet this season. And yet, they're still one of the best teams in baseball. All you got to do is open up. I don't care. Look around the landscape, man. Don't just look at this team and go, oh, well, they're not good enough to win a World Series. The Dodgers just lost 2 or 3 this week, I believe. I want to double check that. I know they were 1-1 with San Diego. So I don't know if they beat San Diego the last game or lost the last game. But they were in a dogfight with San Diego. They played the Giants right before that and was in a dogfight with them. There's good teams in the National League. I think the National League is better than the American League this year. Way better. I think there's tougher teams. And I'm not counting out the Braves. I've been saying it all year. I'm not going to count the Braves out, even though they lost tonight. I'm not going to count them out. I think that they can make a charge. I really do. This Mets team's in trouble, and I think they know it. I mean, the last thing in the world they need is to come here and get swept, and then they got to go home and play 4 against the Braves. That's trouble. That's trouble. And the Phillies ain't got an easy road either. When they're done this homestand, they got to go to Houston for 3 games. Again, we're going to see what everybody's made of. I just like the fact that it's been competitive, and you're not seeing a team run away with this with either league. So for all their deficiencies that people are throwing up, a weak bullpen, an inconsistent lineup, the manager not knowing what the hell he's doing for some of these, team's still right near the top of the National League. Even with their bipolarness, Ryan, they're still right there at the top of the National League. And that's not being a homer take. That's opening up a newspaper or going online and clicking the standings and looking. Like, I want you right now, besides the Dodgers, tell me what team you're worried about in the National League. Honestly, I'll wait. He said it's not hot. Okay. Wheeler settled down and got through 5. Yeah, he did. Canning. Hey, Ricky, how are you, buddy? Yes, let's play the game, but no matter how good the offense looks at times, exciting, I won't believe in them until they win it all, even with having to enjoy it. I can't just enjoy it because I know what will happen in the end with how streaky they are as a bunch. Sorry, but not sorry. Well, listen, Ryan, you can feel that way, buddy. You really, truly can, and I respect your opinion on that. But, your narrative that you're trying to push, I'm just giving you devil's advocate on that. For all that's been going bad with this team, to me, I mean, no offense, you started to sound like a little bit of an Eagles fan before 2017. I'll believe it when I see it. So, again, I'm not saying they're going to go out and win the World Series. All I'm saying is right now, June 20th, you look at the standings right now in Major League Baseball, the Phillies are one of the top teams in Major League Baseball. And you got to give them their due. They're doing it without Bryce Harper. They're doing it without Aaron Nola. They're doing it with a bipolar bullpen, a bipolar manager, okay, and a bipolar lineup, to use Ryan's words. And yet they're still right there. They're still right there. Like I said, put your thinking caps on, or I should say, put your shades on, look into the future. Let's see what happens when they put it all together. This Phillies team is going to be dangerously, dangerously good if they ever put it all together. Now, will I think they will? I don't think so. I don't. But I'm still enjoying the ride. I still think we're going to have Red October here. And we all know, we saw just 3 years ago what happens when a team gets hot. Because we were that team. Okay? The Arizona Diamondbacks were the team the next year. And we ran into that team. And then we ran into that team again last year with the Mets. So, yeah. What team will it be this year? Will it be a St. Louis Cardinals? Will it be a Milwaukee Brewers? Hell, could it be a San Francisco Giants team? Padres? An Atlanta Braves team? It could be those teams. I'm not saying the Phillies are head and shoulders above, better than anybody else, but damn it, they're right there. And you got to give them their credit for doing that. Bipolar and all, they're still June 20th. Okay, if you remember 2022, they were like 7 or 8 games out when they fired Girardi, and that team looked bleak and dead. This team's hanging around. You got to give it to them. And they did what they were supposed to do tonight. Okay? They went up against a pitcher that they never saw. And if you're a Phillies fan like I am, you already know when the Phillies don't see a pitcher, the first time they see him, that dude looks like Nolan Ryan. At least in my 40, well, I'll be 49 on Monday. My 49 years of living, seen that happen to the Phillies a lot. Used to go to the vet and watch these no-name guys come in here, look like Cy Young. So, yeah, it happens to the Phillies. Star Wars checking in says, today they won by small ball. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Today's bullpen pitch good, but Walker. Yeah, I like the kid Lazar, Max Lazar. I like him. He's been pretty solid for the Phillies. He really has. And, you know, if he can become a more stable piece, okay, that's less pieces you got to trade to go get somebody. It's lesser of a need. You still need bullpen help. I still think they need to go out and get bullpen help. But Mike checking in, he goes, I love my Phillies, but can we trust this Phillies lineup and bullpen in the playoffs? I think this is us, not just my fear, but a lot of Phillies fans. You know what, Mike? Listen, until they show that they can hit in the playoffs, okay, and smack around a pitching staff, which every Philly fan has that right. A guy, that's why I said I'm not telling Ryan he's wrong. He has every right to feel the way he feels. I'm just saying for right now. Let's worry about October when we get there. This team was built to go. I'll tell you what, if they don't go this year, they're not running it back. I don't know what they're going to do, but you know you can't run it back. He says, yeah, JT Realmuto had a point being upset on his third strike call. Yeah, I wasn't too thrilled with the umpiring tonight. I'm pretty sure I'll catch hell from Matty B from that because, you know, he's an umpire. So, but there was it went both ways too. Like there was a lot of balls that were called balls that were strikes too, and for both teams. So, like the dude just had a wacky strike zone tonight. He really did, and you could tell it affected Wheeler early on, and it affected was it Tidwell? It affected him too. So, I mean, both pitchers and on both sides too, bullpen too. So, now you're giving Robbie too much credit calling him bipolar. I'm worried about the offense sneakiness, not the other team. The Phillies offense lacks consistency and streakiness in my concern. No other team but their bipolar lineup. No other team. Have you watched the Dodgers? Have you watched the Giants? Like, Ryan, honestly, buddy, you got to start watching other teams too, bud. Because it's not just the Phillies. It's not just the Phillies. Look at this Mets lineup. This Mets lineup has been cold for the last 7 games. And they got just as many good hitters on their team as we do now. But I'm not saying you don't have a right to be concerned. All I'm saying is, broaden your scope, man. Look at the other teams in this National League. With all the problems that are going on with the Phillies right now, they're still near the top. Think about that for a second. If they get their crap together, you know, they're going to be a pretty dangerous team. Ryan says, okay, I'm done now. Exactly. Love the starting pitching staff. I do too. And I think it's going to get better with Painter coming up. I really do. I think Painter's going to be able to come up if Aaron Nola's got to sit for a long period of time. My question to you guys is this. Would you put Aaron Nola, when he's ready to come off the disabled list, would you put him back in the starting lineup and move Ranger to the bullpen? Or would you move Aaron Nola to the bullpen? Because I can see Abel, if Abel keeps pitching well, I think there's only two things. For me, there's only two outcomes. Like, I don't think Mick Abel's going to see Lehigh again. He's either going to stay in the Phillies rotation or they're going to use him as a piece to go get somebody. And I'm praying to God they're not using him to go get somebody. I've been calling for the kid for 5 years. I want to see what he has. I'm tired of Phillies trading away talent, and then we see him 3 years down the line, and the dude's an ace. Seen that way too much in my lifetime. Star Wars saying Otto Kemp playing good on defense. Yes, he is. This team caught fire after firing Girardi and caught lightning and went to the World Series. So let's try that recipe again, but fire Robbie. Mike, you know what, man? Mike, that's one mountain Mike's not coming off of. Mike will not be happy until they fire Rob Thompson. But again, if they fire Rob Thompson, who are you going to have manage the Phillies? Because they're not going to bring somebody from the outside in. You already know that, right, Mike? You know they're going to go with somebody inside, in-house, right? So do you want Caleb Kaufman or Caleb Kaufman, whatever his name is? You want him coaching? Do you want the hitting coach becoming the interim manager? Like, who are you going to make interim manager? And how do you know they're not going to do the same thing that Thompson's doing? What do you say here? I'm sorry. How many times Kep foul ball say? Yeah, Kep had a lot of. That's what I'm saying, man. These Mets hitters tonight, I think they got a little off balance once Wheeler kind of got in his groove. He had them off kilter until he left the game. And that shows in the score. I mean, you're looking at it right away. So Nola's always given a lot of innings, so why put him in the bullpen? Again, he's the odd man out right now. He's coming back off an injury. You know, can you give me 4 Aaron Nola innings, shutout innings in a postseason game? Hell, I'll take that in a heartbeat. There's no Taiwan Walker. There's none of these other cruds that we've been having. You can go right. If your starter goes down, you throw Nola in for 2-3 innings. That takes you right to the back end of your bullpen, which would be Strom and then probably Kirkering, because Kirkering should start closing games. Plain and simple. I feel that way. That's it. If Painter comes up, what do you do with Abel? You let him join the rotation with him. That's why I said, somebody's going to be the odd man out. And the way it's looking, I think they're going to do the young guys. You know what I mean? Ranger, I think, would go. You know what I mean? I think Ranger would go to the pen willingly. And if you look at their starting 5, again, it all depends how Painter comes up and pitches too. If he comes up and he's kind of up and down, Painter may go to the bullpen. You know what I mean? They may send him to the bullpen. Or if Abel, they might make Abel the long guy. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things you can move around with that. Oh, what's this? Casey and Marshy had good games. Especially Brandon Marsh had a really good game. Nola struggles early, then finds it. So he's not a bullpen guy. That's kind of up and down. He don't find himself in April. When we get in the dog days of summer, he's fine. You go back and look at Aaron Nola over his career. In April and May, when the weather's cool, he's horrible. Starts out horrible. When it's June, July, and August, and it's hot out in the beginning of September, Aaron Nola's just fine. He's just fine. That's only in the beginning of the year. You go back and look at his stats and look at his wins and how they go. He's not a April and May pitcher. He does not like cool weather. That's another reason why I think sometimes, even in the postseason, the weather gets cooler here when we're in the postseason. And to be honest with you, Nola's had a couple good games, but he's also had a couple bad ones too. So, all right, guys, listen, it has been fun. I wasn't even trying to be on here. I was trying to do 20 minutes. Guys, do me a favor. Pat Bernard right now is over. He's probably already got his show started. I'm going to take a look and see if he got it started yet, just so I can tell you. No, he's probably getting ready to go. All right, so do me a favor. Get over there. Stay tuned. The wraparound with Pat Bernard is coming up right after me. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Again, I will see you guys on Sunday. And hold on. I got 2 more. I hope Crawford comes up still. I do too. I think that kid would make this lineup explosive. And he says, trade Nola. Good show. Mike, thank you guys. All right, guys, I will be live down there tomorrow. So make sure you guys I'll be rooting them on. So wait a minute. Hold on. Let me because if I don't do this, I'll get a whipping. Tomorrow, that's right. Pat has the game tomorrow night. So you get you're gonna get Pat all weekend. That's great. So I filled in for Al. Pat will have you on Saturday, and Matty B will be bringing up the rear of this homestand and this series with the Mets. So, guys, make sure you tune in for that. And again, guys, don't forget on Sunday, down on the farm with Matty B, he will be breaking down everything for you guys. Final score from Citizens Bank Park: it was the Phillies 10, the Mets 2. My name is Mike Laro. It has been my pleasure. You guys have a good night. And don't forget, Wraparound coming up right after me. So make sure you tune in. Have a good night, guys.